Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast, and today I have got a game for everyone between Destiny and HeavensLighT. So this is going to be a ZvZ game. We have got Light in the left position as the blue Zerg player, and we have got Destiny as the red Zerg player in the right, and the map is Shattered Temple. Now some interesting features of this map is obviously the third base is extremely hard for a Zerg player to take because there's rocks blocking both the gold and up to this natural island third base. So that means that if a Zerg player wants to take a quick third, they have to come all the way down here, and as you see from the minimap, that is a long way away from your base, which means that if you have an immobile army in any way, it can cause a lot of problems, and it's also really difficult if there is any harassment going on. So they are really the main things that people have to be careful of when playing on this map. But again, this is a really top level game. It is between two very well known players, so hopefully this will be a really good ZvZ, and I'm really looking forward to it. Now, neither player is going to go for anything crazy like a 7 pool or anything like that, so it'll be interesting to see whether they do go for a similar build. I mean, obviously there's the macro build where you get the hatch first, which is holdable. A lot of people think it isn't, but you can hold it in ZvZ. There's no problem with that at all, as long as it's not kind of before a temple. And the other option is of course 14-14, where you get 14 gas and then a 14 pool. That allows you to put on some early pressure, get Zergling speed out really quickly, and also it's kind of a nice balanced build. And then obviously you do have the really heavy pressure builds where you just go for an early pool and pump out Zerglings and just attack. So it'll be good to see what they do. Destiny looks like he's just going to be going for a pool at about the 15 mark, exactly the same, but HeavensLighT has got this gas out, so obviously just going for that gas before pool build. So 14-14, as I said, which you can be a bit more aggressive with, but it will mean the Destiny is fractionally ahead in the drone count. If we look already, although it's 14-14, there's 2 popping out now for Destiny already, so again, that fraction ahead in terms of drones does make its difference. I mean, as long as Destiny doesn't lose too much, he should be absolutely fine here. And Destiny now just grabbing his natural expansion nice and early. That was at 15, I think, or it might have been 16, but either way, a nice early expansion, and nothing out yet for Light. But however, Light does have this gas out. He's pulled everyone out, all of his drones out of gas at exactly 100, starting that Zergling speed straight away, and getting 6 Zerglings on the way as well as the Queens. So I mean, this could be quite difficult for Destiny to hold, especially if Light does keep pumping out those speedlings. Now, Light just going to come in and see that this hatch is down, and that's a big sign to know that this is going to be really effective. Now, Destiny is going to be getting down a spine just to try and deal with this, but it won't help defending this base. And Light actually getting 2 more Zerglings following on from this as well, so he's got those initial 4, 6, going to be getting his own expansion out now, and Destiny's going to have a tough time defending this. He has only just started taking his gas, so he's going to be defending this purely with Zerglings. And obviously he is behind in the Zergling count already, so Destiny could take some losses here. He is ahead in drones though, so obviously that economy will play out. And Light just pumping out more Zerglings as we speak. His speed is about 3/4 done, and that spine will finish. Won't be able to take out the Queen, and will have to go back. 1 Zergling does go down. Now, every Zergling you lose at these really early stages is critical. It makes the difference between whether you win or you lose ultimately. Now this base for Destiny is going to go down most probably. There are some Zerglings on the way. That spine has been lifted, so he's going to try and move it down, but it's all about whether Destiny can hold this base. If he can, it's going to be fine, but if he loses, he's got problems. And Destiny just straight away getting that Baneling Nest, just kind of to deal with this kind of mass speedling approach. 1 Zergling is going to get picked off, 2, 3 and 4 gone now, and if a surround gets on this Queen, that'd be quite a big loss, but I don't think there's quite enough stuff there. And those Zerglings are trying to get a surround on that spine crawler, but it will be able to start burrowing now. So it means the Destiny will be able to hold this, but again, it's looking like there's going to be a follow-up as well from Light, so but those Queens are blocking off the ramp. Now this is a great trick to avoid that really early speedling pressure. Just get a second Queen, put them on hold position next to each other on the ramp, and you'll be absolutely fine. So a good little trick for those people who hate ZvZ. But if you look, there's a lot of Zerglings on the way for Light. He's getting a lot out. He's just pumping out 2 base, only now just switching back to drone production, getting his second Queen out. Still no guys on gas, but obviously Destiny does have his Baneling Nest out. He is morphing some Banelings, and Banelings really make this mass speedling style pretty much useless, purely because once a Baneling comes out, you can get some good hits off and do a lot of damage. And I like the way he's keeping some behind the Queen as well. Just kind of trying to keep things safe, preventing anything running up, keeping his Banes on the high ground, so with no vision, if Light does run up there, he could take a lot of damage, just morphing in another Baneling. And really, this is why HeavensLighT is just sitting back, because he doesn't want to go in there while there's banelings around. Now, you'll see Light getting out his own spine crawler here. He's also just droning up behind this, getting 5 drones out, and a bit of an engagement going on here. And this is exactly how you should play ZvZ. Just trying to get those little units, pick off 1 or 2 Zerglings, and it all makes the difference, because it's less production that your opponent will have, less army your opponent will have, and ultimately that means they've got to rebuild stuff. Now, this is great. This is just walling off the front, forcing the Zerglings to go outside. Now, a huge baneling hit goes off, and that is exactly what Destiny needed. Now, really, this army of Light isn't too scary. A baneling going off on 1 Zergling there, not ideal, and only 4 really left, and that's just going to force everything back. But this Sim City here is fantastic. It just forces all the Zerglings to come through here, which makes it very easy for banelings to defend the entire natural base and main base. But 1 goes off there, and now a couple of drones will get picked off here, I would imagine. It all depends how Light plays it. Meanwhile, if you take a look at Light's base, he is just getting out his lair, getting that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th gas, and it's just going, looks like he's going to be rushing straight up to Mutas. No sign of that Rotron. A Rotron is out for Destiny, but just taking some damage up here. Just a couple of Zerglings which are doing some damage, and a Queen actually taking out one of his own drones, so that was a bit of a misstep there. If you take a look at the units killed, it's only been 2 workers killed by Light at the moment. I mean, he has got these Zerglings here, but drones against Zerglings with such low HP, Destiny should be fine. And if we actually go and look at the unit counting tab, amazingly, Light's actually ahead by 10 drones. That is very, very significant. He's also got the better tech at the moment, and no roaches are on the way out yet for Destiny. But obviously, what I'm looking at is this is coming out very, very early. There is a Zergling for Destiny in there, though, so he knows that lair is pretty much finished, and that knows that, I mean, tech could be on the way any moment now. No upgrades going down for either player. No even an evolution chamber for Light yet. And just moving that spine crawler around just to try and get good positioning. And a spire is on its way, so that's a baneling nest. There's the spire. So a spire is coming down now for Light. So this is going to be really, really far from Mutas. And currently Destiny has nothing to deal with that. He is getting +1 ranged attack. And really, he needs to scout out that there is a spire on the way. I mean, he's probably got a good idea, just the fact there are 4 gas. And he did see lair going down. But Destiny needs something to deal with that, and he is getting a lot of banelings out just because he has seen all of these Zerglings coming in, and banelings are the way to deal with that. And now Light actually getting his 3rd base down as well, so that'll put him a base up on Destiny. Meanwhile, Destiny just grabbing 2 Spore Crawlers in his main, so that's some good moves there, and getting that Hydralisk then. Now I love that timing of the Hydras, because it will actually mean that it finishes at roughly the same time the Spire does, so he will be able to get some Hydras out to defend. The only downside of that is obviously Hydras are not as mobile as Mutalisks, so Destiny's going to be forced to stay on these fewer bases just in order to deal with it, because if he spreads out and gets that 3rd base in the very south position, then obviously if the Mutas attack his main, it will take him such a long time to get those Hydralisks back in order to defend. But the Spire is finishing up now, and Destiny is just getting that range upgrade for the Hydralisks, which of course is very, very useful. Also getting the speed upgrade for the Roaches, and meanwhile we will see Light's getting 9 Mutalisks out, and still just going to lose an Overlord here, but that's fine. Sacrificing an Overlord at this stage is perfect. It just gives you information, and I like this. Light's just taking out these rocks so he can get a Zergling run by if Destiny chooses to take that base there. Just Zerglings positioned all around, great Overlord spread absolutely everywhere. I mean, Light's, if you look at the minimap, has just so much more vision. See, that 3rd base for him has finished up as well now, and if we take a look at the drone count, it is 52 to 43. Light has killed 3 as well, but if we go to the units lost tab, I mean, Light is only slightly behind, but he's got so much more economy. And now here come the Mutalisks, going to be picking off that Overlord straight away. Some Hydras are on the way now for Destiny, which will be needed to deal with this. That Queen's looking very vulnerable, and go get back towards the Spore Crawler, but it's going to go down. And losing a Queen, if it does go down, it does. Losing a Queen this stage of the game, at any stage of the game, is really big, because there's no injects you've got going on, which means you lose production to your opponent quite significantly. Now this 1 Spore is causing some problems. I think Light could take it, and that's why he's just going to go for it. Great micro, pulling back that Mutalisk, trying to save it, but a fantastic transfuse goes off there by Destiny, but it will go down. Now Destiny's in quite a bit of problems here. Those Muta numbers are starting to get a bit higher, and he is actually moving up these Hydralisks, which should be able to deal with it with the Queens as well. But I mean, if we take a look at the lost, 11 workers now killed by Light, and to be honest, that's not a good position. Destiny was already behind, and now it's 45 to 53 drones. This 5th and 6th gas are down now for Light as well, and obviously that is a great position to be in, getting that 3rd base, getting that extra gas. Upgrades wise, we've got Destiny at 1-0, and we've got Light at 0-0, but I don't even think he's got any upgrades going yet, so no upgrades yet for Light. So Destiny does have that upgrade, getting +2 ranged attack, halfway done as well now, so this is a good position, and a 4th base actually now coming out for Light as well. Now I love this. This extra bases is just fantastic and means that Destiny's going to be getting more and more behind as Light gets that better economy. And Light actually getting a lot of banelings, and I really like this because banelings against Hydras will do fantastically. However, Hydras against Mutas also do very well, so Light does have to be careful here. But what Light is doing with these Mutalisks isn't necessarily loads of damage. He's preventing Destiny taking expansions, and the mid and late game of StarCraft is all about expansion management, taking your own and preventing your opponent getting them. And you will see here from Light an absolutely perfect display of getting his own while denying Destiny's. He's doing both bits right. So really, this game is going in the favour of Light. And I mean, this is fantastic, just pulling a whole ton of Banelings and Zerglings back to get a flank, because obviously Destiny's going to be using these Roaches to try and cover the damage for the Hydralists. The Hydras are coming in from behind, and I mean, because he thinks most of Light's army will be in the base there, but I mean, these Hydras are just lining up, and a lot of Zerglings and Banelings are coming in. There's going to be a huge hit off here. There's nothing Destiny can do to prevent that, and all of the Hydralists are going to take huge damage, which means the Mutas can come in and just start clearing this up, and that was a really nice engagement for Light there. Destiny's in a lot of trouble now. He's down 2 bases and he's lost a lot of army there as well. So, I mean, this is not a good position for Destiny. It is 55 to 42 drones. I'm surprised Light isn't actually getting some more drones out yet, because he has got those 4 bases. Destiny looking like he's trying to get ready to take down these rocks to take a 3rd. But as you see, Light has got 2 Zerglings here, so he'll know the exact timing of when things are going to be going down. Meanwhile, Light just getting out more Mutalisks, just flying them around, getting some harassment. There are quite a few Hydras and a Spore there, so that will force them back at the moment. The Infestation Pit coming down for Destiny. Now, that could swing the tide in his favour, because I don't actually think that Light has got an Infestation Pit down yet. He's just getting his Roach Warren, getting that 1-1-4 melee there as well. So, I mean, Roaches aren't really on the equation at the moment for Light, and obviously Roaches are what makes it really effective. And we have actually got a Baneling here, and this is one Baneling for Light. Macro rallied in to go into the mineral line. Now, obviously it takes more than one Baneling to kill drones, but here we go. He's going to be going for it. He's going to be able to get it in, and a big detonation. Look how many super low HP drones there are now. Now, that might not look as if it's actually done any damage, but it just means these Mutas with their splash could do absolutely huge damage and take out a lot of drones very easily. But there's a lot of Hydras here and a couple of Spores, so they've got to be very careful how they go in. Light is going to have to be very careful. Pathogen Glands is about half to 3/4 done for Destiny, and he's getting out the Infestors. I mean, once those Infestors come out, these Mutalisks could get shut down very easily by good fungal growth. Now, just looking at the drone count here, I mean, Light is in such a good position. He's got stuff everywhere. His own Infestation Pit just finishing up now as well. Still no 3rd base for Destiny, and these Mutalisks are just going to fly in and pick off a couple of Roaches, and that's all they need to do, just harassing. And look at how bad Destiny is in terms of expansions. Not bad as in Destiny's not good at expanding, but how bad of a position he's in, because he can't get those expansions down because he's got an immobile army in order to deal with these Mutalisks. So that constant harassment is just keeping Destiny's forces back, and as Zerg players will know, this is exactly how Mutalisks are used versus Protoss. You stop that Protoss army moving forward until you have the tier 3 units in order to deal with it. So that's essentially what Light is doing here as well. He's just keeping Destiny's army back in order to prevent basically Destiny getting a good army up. And we look here, these Roaches are going to down, forced to cancel on that 3rd still, so still Light is preventing mine. Destiny is not mined out because he has very few drones, but I mean, he's at 2 bases against 4 for Light here, and the gold not looking like it's ready to be taken. A Zergling run by is going to be going on here by Light, just going to try and get into the main. A fungal growth does go off, and obviously that's fine, it is just a fungal growth, but it wastes energy on those Infestors, which may be needed to deal with this ever-increasing number of Mutalisks, and the Roaches are moving forward. Now, Light has to be careful, does get back away from those Infestors before a fungal growth does go off. And now, if we just take a look here, Light has got a lot of units. He is a 1-1 for the Roaches, is getting 2-2 on the way, getting the Pathogen Glands up. Meanwhile, Destiny, he has got 2-1 at the moment, getting no extra upgrades, so I'm quite surprised about that. Obviously Destiny should be getting more upgrades, but he just doesn't really have great economy because he doesn't have this third base. Meanwhile, Light just doing a great job of keeping his money low, transferring some drones over. If we look at the drone count, it's 79 to 61, so that's a great position for Light. He's got such a better economy. Look at the income tab. I mean, over double the income of Destiny, so Light is in an amazing position now. His third base is going to be up pretty soon. It's about done. And now these Mutalisks are coming in. There's absolutely nothing apart from a couple of spores at the back here, but all of the key tech is exposed to these Mutalisks, and I mean, Light could get some good damage off if he snipes the Hydra Den or anything like that. It could cause a bit of problems. Just trying to take out those spore crawlers super quickly. Meanwhile, not much else going on at the map, just picking off a simulator there, so it's reducing the gas income that Destiny has. Some Hydras are being pulled back. Meanwhile, a big drone transfer. The Mutas are being forced to back out just because the Hydras have moved up there. Meanwhile, Light is getting great vision of everything which is going on, and actually coming here to take out this gold base. So Light getting ready to take his fifth base, and he can. Look at how much money he's got. Meanwhile, if you take a look at Destiny, he's got hardly any money, because he's only mining off these two bases, and very recently this third base. Now these Mutas are coming in there. Again, they keep coming over this gold base just to scout to see what is happening. No Mutas here, so quite a few Roaches could go down. There isn't actually any upgrade for these Mutas at all, but obviously Roaches can't shoot up, and gotta be careful just because there are some Infestors coming in. Doesn't want to get a fungal growth on there, because obviously that could lose him all of them. And Light just taking down his fifth base now. He's mined out his main. Still got some minerals left there, but he's absolutely fine in terms of income. Those Mutas are being used, just trying to pick off a couple of Infestors, forcing a fungal growth there for 3 Mutalisks, a second one as well. And I mean, the more he forces, the better it is going in, because obviously if the Infestors are low on energy, there's nothing they're going to be able to do in the big engagement, which will no doubt happen. I mean, Light is at 200 of 200. Both players are getting their hive down now. So, I mean, Light is very much ahead in terms of when his hive is going to finish up. It's about 3/4 done, so again, going to be coming out very quickly. Destiny getting his burrow out, and meanwhile we have got some Mutas just coming, picking off a couple of drones. A huge fungal growth goes off there, captures a lot of those Mutalisks, and that's exactly what Light had to be careful of. That was a great engagement by Destiny there. But if you look, Light has got a Hydra Den out and is just remaxing on Hydra, Roach, Infestor with a couple of Mutalisks, so that's very strong. Destiny looking like he's positioning up to try and take this gold base, but I mean, Destiny upgrade wise, it's 2-1 compared to 2-2, so he's behind in upgrades. I think the Infestor count, yeah, 10 Infestors, oh no, now to 11 for Destiny, 33 Roaches for Destiny, and only 20 Hydras. So, I mean, in terms of army, Destiny is actually ahead, so that's a good position. But obviously if you look at the kind of trust fund building up there for Light, he can just remax, so he can have an engagement and just remax instantly. He's also getting his Greater Spire out, so Broodlords will be available to Light soon. He's getting 3/3 with the melee attack plus 1 ranged attack. I mean, Destiny has got that gold base coming out now, but I mean, this 6th base now is on its way, and an engagement is going on. Some infested terrans being chucked out here. A couple of big fungal growths are going to go off. And as you can see, this is just a much better attack surface area for Light. Destiny's pinned back, so won't get as many units engaged at the same time, but some huge fungal growths going off for Destiny there. But infested terrans are being chucked in, and as you can see, Light is just remaxing 30 Roaches straight out, along with the army he's already got, and Destiny just leaves the game. And I mean, I would have liked to have seen a GG there. I mean, Light did play very well. He did great harassment and did manage just to prevent Destiny from taking any bases. Meanwhile, he was on his way to getting his 6th of his own. So great play there by Light. Destiny did the best he could, but those early Mutalisks were just fantastic in preventing expansions. So, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the cast, please subscribe and follow me on Twitter at SC2_England. Thank you very much.